Ladies and gentlemen, this is my 2019, I guess you can say 2020, Range Rover Sport Autobiography Dynamic. And this is a real owner's review.
The tires are smoking. Let's do this.
Right. Welcome to Driven Hard, where I am going to review my 2019, I picked this up in May of 2019, Range Rover Sport Autobiography. And this is not going to be like the typical Range Rover reviews. You see, this thing gets used. Don't worry, my paint should be okay. I say should, but it's all good because this thing gets used. This thing gets abused. This is exactly why I purchased this vehicle. I love the outdoors. I love this. But most importantly, I love what that brand stands for. And I honestly can say the Range Rover Sport has been by far the absolute best vehicle I have ever driven. So I'm going to run through a few of the things that I absolutely love about this, a few of the quirks, if you will, of the things that, you know, I don't love about it. And hopefully, if you're on the fence on whether or not you're thinking of picking one of these up, or as I lose my balance off this kind of dry riverbed I found here, if you're on the fence of picking one of these up, or you already got one, I'm just going to offer a couple thoughts. So first things first, we are out. You can see it's a nice big dry riverbed in between the mountains. I was kind of hoping for a little bit of rain to kind of muck things up a little bit, as I just got some new tires for this thing. But all in all, the number one thing I love about it is the confidence and the ability to go pretty much anywhere that your tires will let you go. This thing has got me in and out of situations that I just sometimes shake my head and say, how did it do it? We've all seen the Land Rover promotional videos and, you know, how it performs under perfect circumstances. And I don't know if you're like me, but I absolutely hate that Land Rover makes those videos. I think it's BS because it's not real world testing. And I've been in some situations just now. You can see it's covered in dust, in sand. And I just kicked up all of that, and I didn't have the camera running. I was trying to climb over a little hill here, and you know, I just kind of floored it a little bit, and it just, you could feel it distributing power to different wheels, spinning them, and it just clawed its way up and over the hill. I was scraping the belly of it, but I was just like, wow. Because I tried a couple times to get over that and couldn't. But the truck ended up finding a way by throwing around power. And the intelligence of the four-wheel drive system and of the electronics in general that control the drive system, the ABS, the stability control, the active rear diff, all of it has blown my mind. And that is by far, I think, one of my favorite things I love about this thing. The second thing is the looks. I think this is a perfectly proportioned SUV. I think this is exactly what an SUV should look like. You know, would I like slightly better approach and departure angles? Yes, I would. But with that, you know, the roof line, and hopefully you can see it right there. Everything about it, I love the angles. I can't find a bad angle to look at this thing. It's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, just love it, you know. Power, let's talk power. So this thing comes stock with 518 horsepower and what, 460-ish torque. Now this is tuned. It's a quick, easy 20-minute ECU tune, and this bumps it up well past the SVR to over 600 horsepower and bumps up the torque to, I believe it's like 540, but don't quote me on that. I'll try to throw the figures on the screen once I find them. The power that allows you to get in and out of traffic, you know, highway on-ramps, I just love it. I call it kind of endless power. Those of you who live in mountainous regions, like I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia, so we have the Coquihalla. Those of you who live in Colorado, some other places where there's going to be a ton of mountains, this thing eats up mountains like a speed bump. It's just, you put your foot down and it goes. I've been in situations, we're talking 180, 200 kilometers an hour. I'll put my foot down and still get pushed back in my seat. This thing moves. So highly recommend, if you're picking this up, hit up Velocity app, and they are the people who tune them. And it's just a quick ECU tune. You can flash it back if you're done at the end of your lease or whatever the case is. But I absolutely love the power that this thing gives. Okay, the next thing is the driving position. And to talk about that, let's kind of go on the inside and give you an idea here of what that's like. Hopefully I don't get too much dust and sand inside. All right, so we'll go ahead and start it up, straighten her out, and the driving position. So right now I'm looking at a riverbed, but that Land Rover famous command view driving position is something I have just come to love. Just being able to drive down the road, feel that you're driving above everybody else. The visibility is absolutely excellent in this vehicle. Absolutely excellent. So you have the car seats in there, storage, these little cubbies in here. We got the double glove box. Do not order this with the CD player. I've never used that once. I never will, because it's 2020. Who the hell listens to CDs? But the stupid dealership I ordered this from messed that up. Thank you, Langley. Storage galore. Some more storage down there, and of course you got that. And oh, what do we got down there? So a nice little fridge. The fridge is probably one of my favorite options as well. Now I picked this up back in May, and you can see it had 24 kilometers when I purchased, and we're sitting in March 9th as I film this, and we have just over 37,000 kilometers, and it's less than a year old. I drive this thing a ton. I go off-roading, you know, once a week, minimum once every 2 weeks, and it just gets driven by myself, by my wife, and we use it, we abuse it, and we absolutely love it. You can see currently I'm just sitting in auto here. Earlier I was playing around in sand. I'll link up my Instagram so you can kind of check out some of those additional videos. But it is the autobiography, so it is completely fully loaded. We got this beautiful, absolutely beautiful two-tone leather here, and we got the 22-way heated and cooled, so you can, for the ventilated seats or heated seats, or we also got the massaging feature. And if you've never had massaging seats before, you have all those different options. They are absolutely phenomenal, especially my wife just absolutely loves these things, so definitely tick that option box. you know, when you're customizing this. Let's talk infotainment for a second. Hey, it's a Land Rover product, so I expect glitches, and that's exactly what you're gonna get. Not a ton though. I did a earlier video on my Instagram about how to get through any sort of internal glitch that you have, but I love this thing. 9 times out of 10 it works perfectly for me. And you know, it's a little delayed, but that's okay. You're not gonna notice it as long as you don't go and play around with Porsches or BMWs or Audis. As long as you don't go look at any of theirs, you're not gonna know what you're missing. But yeah, no, this is a great little system here. Absolutely love it. Any glitches that I have had, you know, things come up. If you do a quick power cycle, say you're running into the corner store, you start it, drive to the store, stop it, drive back or jump back in and start it up, you might have a glitch. There's 30 odd computers, ECUs, inside of this vehicle. They all have to work in sync, and if one's not working in sync, it starts throwing things off. All you do, power down, get out, lock it, let all the computers reset for about 5 minutes, get back in, all the glitches are going to be gone. So pretty simple there. Now, another little thing that I've really come to love, and once again, don't worry about the paint. I was driving through some of these bushes over here, and you know, they're scratching up against the dust and all the sand, so it's not actually going to be doing too much damage here, but it's all good. It's all good, because you know what? This was meant to be driven. This was meant to be driven hard, and that shit can get buffed right out. So who the hell cares? See this plastic thing right here? What's great about that is no matter how muddy you get the exterior, when you are like, you know, I got my kids in here, or not in here right now, but when I'm loading the kids in and the truck's a little muddy, you can bang up against this, or the kids can slide out of that, and they don't get muddy because that stays relatively, it's a little dusty, it gets dusty, but it's not going to get caked in mud or anything like that. So just little things like that they do to help make your day-to-day life a little easier. That is pretty dusty there, huh? All right, so if we come and take a look at the trunk, I don't actually have to kick it, but you can see it's an SUV. It has a big ass trunk. You can raise and lower the suspension here. I'm not going to, because I don't know how much ground clearance. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm pretty much touching there, huh? So I'm not going to lower the suspension. But right here, you can raise and lower the suspension to make getting in and out of this a little easier. 60-40 splitting, 60-40 splitting rear seats, and full-size spare underneath here for obvious reasons. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that I don't like about it, and I will have 5 things I love, 5 things I hate about the Range Rover in a completely separate video. But some of the things off the top of my head that I don't like about it is it's a Range Rover. And what I mean by that is this thing looks absolutely stunning when it's clean. Absolutely stunning, especially in this Firenze red. It just looks freaking gorgeous. But it is so fun to take off-road that getting it dirty is probably even more fun than keeping it clean. But what I'm gonna do after this, I'm gonna take it straight through the car wash, get it all cleaned up again. But you wanna get it dirty, you wanna keep it clean, and it's just, I find it's a constant battle back and forth. Another thing is, because, and maybe it's just me, I'm a car guy, I love taking care of my things. Any little ding or anything, you're gonna notice it. You're gonna notice it. I've got only, you know, 1 or 2 little dings, but I notice it. It drives me absolutely crazy every time, you know, I walk by that part of the car. But I can't think of too many things that I actually really do hate about it. Besides the CD player that's inside of it, I hate it's just a complete waste of space. And apparently you have to, you don't check that option, but then make sure the dealer tells the factory when they're building it, do not put a CD player in there, because they just put them in anyways. At least the dealership that I got this one from. So yeah, anyways, hey, if you have any other questions, if you have ideas for video you want to see here on the channel, just look at the articulation on that back wheel, huh? Isn't this sick? If you got ideas for videos you want to see on the channel, please let me know. I will do whatever I can. I was trying to find a way to climb this, but I couldn't find a way up. So, you know. Oh, 21-inch rims, don't get them. Get 22s or 20s, because they have more off-roading sizes in 22s, if you can believe it. They actually have a couple all-terrain tires in 22s and a ton in 20s, but not in the 21s. So that's definitely something I'm never going to order again. But hey, you know, lesson learned. But hey everybody, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see some more crazy shenanigans with the Driven Hard Range Rover and whatever else I can get my hands on. Till next time, make sure you drive hard.